As we have already noted, markets often fail, for various reasons. In thinking about the environmental effects of trade, we often see that the opportunity to trade creates incentives to deplete natural resources or generate pollution and other emissions. The true cost of production should include the social costs of remediating these negative externalities. However, this is often very difficult in practice because activities are difficult to monitor. Property rights such as the right to breathe clean air are difficult to define and defend, and the reach of policing and regulation may be limited due to cost or other factors. Some policies and actions, including by consumers of a product, may influence companies to change their practices. We will discuss some of these later in the course. But some other policies may make matters worse. Fossil fuel subsidies, the equivalence of a negative tax on polluting activities, are one example. We will look at those more closely when we examine environmental issues and policies in greater depth in the later modules. Summing up, the successful pursuit of environmental SDGs generally strives to reduce the impact of scale effects and to augment technique effects. But reducing scale effects alone typically involves a trade-off with the important goal of economic growth. So the pursuit of two targets, economic growth and better environmental protections, will most often involve two instruments. Trade promotes growth, and measures to support technique effects are one important way to address the second. A win-win growth strategy is one in which technique effects simultaneously support environmental goals and growth goals. For example, shifting to renewable non-fossil fuel energy sources is increasingly viable, both for a cleaner environment and for cheaper energy with which to sustain economic growth. Many modern trade agreements and other international conventions aim to internalize the negative externalities of trade-related changes in economic activity. Such international agreements recognize that coordinated actions may have a better chance of success than unilateral measures by individual countries. One example is CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Signatories to this convention agree to regulate their own industries so as to preserve endangered species and manage stocks in a sustainable fashion. Because the costs of doing so are widely shared, the burden on any individual country is diminished. CITES compliance reduces the cost to individual countries of achieving targets in SDGs 14 and 15, that is, the preservation of lives underwater and on land.